The Wedding Favor, Part 9. The next morning is hell for Ella. She has to get up before the sun rises after a night of figuring out the details of her fake relationship with the help of Kaylee. The spring mornings are still bitingly cold, and Ella's nose turns red the moment she hits the street. Ella's breath is visible when she huffs in annoyance. She should have taken Damien up on his offer of a ride to work. It's now 5 a.m., and she's already off to work, on foot, in these freezing temperatures. Ella starts with stretching out her calves. That's something she should do, right? Goes to show how used to jogging to work she is, which is to say, not at all. She should have done this inside, in the warmth. At least no one is out here to see her be an idiot. The moment the thought crosses her mind, a car door opens across the street. Ella tells herself to just ignore the sound, as most city folk are wont to do. It works fine for keeping her anxiety at bay, until the guy crosses the street to her side. Ella straightens up, tension tightening her jaw. Should she run? She could just start jogging to work. That doesn't have to mean she's running away from a random stranger. The man passes through a light, and relief washes over Ella, relaxing her tense stance. It's just Damien. It's still weird that he's here at this hour, but maybe there was a miscommunication or something, and he thought he had to drive her. Ella is ready to smile at him and thank him for a ride, but then the guy has to open his great big British mouth. Ella, it's still dark out. Anyone could jump you if you run around this early on your own. Get in the car, I'm driving you. His dark eyes are narrowed into a glare. Ella glares right back at him. Excuse me? I'm perfectly safe being outside by myself. Damien raises an eyebrow at her. Ella scuffs at him. What? You really think I'm going to be attacked or something? I've never been bothered in these streets in my life. I can handle myself just fine. Damien glances around them quickly, and Ella copies him uneasily. Did she miss something? There's no one around, not even in the alleyway behind her. Just as she turns her head back to face Damien, his arm goes around her neck. Her breath catches in her throat, and not because of his elbow closing off her airflow. It's the pure fear that freezes her blood in her veins. Damien's other hand covers her mouth, and he drags her into the alleyway. His arm is a band of steel Ella can't move, and she struggles weakly, mostly to stay on her feet. Damien needs 4 strides to pull her into the alley and behind the dumpster, hiding them from anyone walking the street. No matter how hard Ella tries to get away, Damien doesn't give an inch. He isn't even breathing hard. What's wrong, Ella? Damien whispers in her ear, his voice low and dark. I thought you were safe. I just grabbed you in the middle of the street and nobody stopped me, not even you. How are you going to get out of this situation? The British lilt to his voice makes him sound like a villain straight from TV. Ella's heart is going a mile a minute, and she can barely think. Her breath comes in gasps, the cold air stabbing all the way to her lungs. Her hands clench and unclench on the arm around her throat, not even trying to get it to let go anymore. It's not the thing stopping her from breathing normally. It's the only thing still keeping her on her feet. Ella's legs are jelly, and she can't get herself to move. Ella? Damien has lost the dangerous undertone. You can't escape if you don't move. His breath is warm where it brushes past Ella's jaw. His tight hold loosens a little bit, and Ella tries to get her body to move. She can't. It doesn't listen. Her fingers are clutching Damien's soft jacket, and they won't let go. Her knees are shaking and refuse to bend. The silence lasts for 3 long seconds before Damien slowly lets go of her. The moment his arm is slack around her neck, Ella's body finally listens, and she can jump away. She flattens her back against the wall across from Damien, staring at him with wide eyes, trying to catch her breath. Damien's frown is less pronounced than usual as he stares at her with his head slightly cocked. He almost looks confused at her reaction. It pisses Ella off. What is your fucking problem? Her breathless voice barely makes it out through her clenched teeth. Damien actually has the gall to look taken aback at Ella's outburst. You were under the misconception that it's perfectly safe to run around by yourself in the dead of the morning. What? And you thought it would be a good idea to just grab me and physically overpower me instead of, oh, I don't know, talk to me like a normal person? The glare returns to Damien's face with a vengeance. I literally told you anyone could jump you if you run around this early on your own, and you just dismissed me. What else was I supposed to say? Hearing him repeat his own words triggers Ella's memory. He did say that, but it's nonsense, which is why she ignored it the first time. I've never been attacked in the streets before. There's a first time For everything. That doesn't mean you need to be that first person to attack me. I wouldn't have hurt you. I was just trying to show you how unprepared your arrogance has left you. You didn't even try to get away after I dragged you out of sight. Ella stares at him for a moment. She touches her throat. He was strong, and he dragged her bodily away. She couldn't stop him. She never felt so helpless before. But in all that he frightened her, he didn't actually hurt her. There's no way she could have stopped him, though. She's 5 foot nothing, and he's a giant mass of solid hotness. No, muscles. She wanted to think about his muscles, not his attractiveness. Although his muscles are like half the reason he's... No. Ella shakes her head and focuses back on the pit of annoyance in her stomach. Why would I bother? You're so much stronger than me. I wouldn't have gotten away. I had more of a chance of hurting myself than hurting you. Damien huffs out a disbelieving laugh. Are you trying to tell me you made the active choice of not fighting? Ella glares at him and opens her answer to retaliate. Damien grimaces and holds up his hands in deference. That sounded a tad too mocking. I just wanted to say that I noticed your instinctual freeze once you realized the situation. If you had known what to do in a situation like that, you wouldn't have frozen up. To be prepared is half the victory. The anger subsides and leaves Ella feeling deflated. You think I can get out of a chokehold a guy your size has me in? Damien nods. Without a doubt, he takes a step closer, reaching for her before he falters. Can I teach you? He waits for Ella's answer before continuing. Ella slowly nods, body stiff with tension, as he slowly grabs her back into the chokehold. His arm is firm, but he's not actually putting any pressure on her. The easiest way to get out of a grapple like this is to turn towards my wrist. The arm not holding her reaches across to lightly push her chin towards his chest. It stops me from actually choking you because of the free space there usually is between wrist and chest. His fingertips remain on her jaw longer than strictly necessary before he starts maneuvering her around. He explains how she should turn her entire body instead of only her chin, so that her shoulder automatically dips beneath his choking arm. After that, it's easy to step back and bend over, and if that doesn't get her free, she can go for his knees. Honestly, just punch as hard as you can if someone grabs you. Most people don't expect a slip of a girl to fight back. The surprise alone could set you free. They practice the move in slow motion twice before Ella asks Damien to grab her for real. Damien does. Ella manages to get herself free by throwing her full weight at his knees. It's exhilarating. She's the first one back up, grinning widely at Damien. He slowly follows, staring at her all the while without blinking. His incessant stare doesn't even bother her the way it usually does. I did it! Damien's lips quirk up into a smile. It's gone before it fully registers with Ella. Yes, you did. Damien clears his throat. Want to do it again? Ella is about to enthusiastically agree, but then her watch beeps. Shit. She needed to be halfway to work already. I need to go. Damien nods and motions to his car. I'll drive. I didn't mean to make you late.